Today, I peacefully decline putting my life and the life of my unborn child at risk. I peacefully decline being part of the system that views our children's lives as disposable. Today, I decline being another statistic at the mercies of a department that will claim once I'm dead that I never got the disease at school. I decline sitting in classes where parents know their positive status and still send their kids to school. I decline them having to pretend that all is well because the department says children are not so susceptible and we have to proceed as normal without even a speck of deep cleaning or testing. Education does not serve a purpose if you are dead. A paycheck does not serve a purpose if you are dead. Until further notice, I will be teaching from the staff room. Sorry, Angie. Sorry, Debbie. My life is worth more. Hashtag teacher lives matter. Hashtag learner lives matter. And tonight, these are the words of a grade 7 teacher at Masiphatisane Primary School in Vredenburg. Her name is Eugenia Paulo-Goagoses. And she, aside from her teaching duties, she's also part of youth development through the Saldanha Bay Municipality Youth Forum. And tonight we are introducing West Coast finest. Good evening, Eugenia. How are you doing?
Good evening. I am well, thank you. And definitely feeling a bit of jitters, but very excited to be here with you and everybody that is signing in live tonight.
Well, I can tell you, there's nothing jittery about your disposition here this evening. So take it easy. We're gonna have a lekker conversation. Now, just before we start, man, some people have complained about my orange background. Do you have an issue with that?
I don't have an issue with the orange background at all. It's always been something unique to you. And I think you removing it now would just take away from you as a person and from the forum as well. So I have no
Absolutely.
problem.
So, and I can see that you've got a yellowish, orangey
Yes.
background there, so we're quite in sync. Now, Eugenia,
Brightness is the thing.
absolutely. Now, let's get back in. Let's get straight into the conversation. Now, you've made that entry on the 26th of June. Talk to us about what motivated that particular urge to utter those words.
I think a lot of people would probably share my sentiments at this point in time. That was specifically boiling down to, at the end of the day, a series of events that had been taking place at our school, for example, and around us, and that had left us feeling, and myself personally feeling, that I am not safe and that I wasn't cared for at that point in time. And that, as I even said in my post, that our lives were at the end of the day now being made something that is disposable, something that, well, if you don't make it, you don't make it. And if you make it, then good for you, which I just felt at the end of the day is not good enough. We make a lot of sacrifices each and every day to ensure that we participate and that we add to the future of our country. And I feel that not just us as the educators that put in so much deserve more from the department, but even our learners deserve so much more, because at the end of the day, it's young lives that we are working with, that we cannot just like a tin of fish go and get a new tin and stack it with new fish. So I feel that we should definitely be treated with more empathy, with more sympathy, and with a lot more care than most people are operating with currently.
Do you feel that the department is not being sympathetic and empathetic with the plight of the teachers currently?
I do feel that way. And, you know, it was after my post as well on the 26th, on Friday. We had our district official come visit us at the school, our circuit manager, and he addressed a lot of the issues that we had that led to, at the end of the day, what transpired on Friday. In short, also, on Friday morning was the first one and the only one that decided in the morning that I was going to take my poster and I was going to stand outside. And as I said in my post, I decided to remain in the staff room because that is where I felt at that time was safest. And once he did come to the school on Monday, though, which was yesterday afternoon, there's a lot that he shed light on also that had me feel that at the end of the day, there's so much circulating at this point in time that not even our leaders and all of our officials are always on the same page. It's almost a matter of each person does what he or she sees fit or how they understand the protocol or policies at that specific time. And this is what causes so much anxiety as well, and what is making us feel even more vulnerable. And after our meeting that we had yesterday, we feel a lot more comfortable as a staff. I myself feel a lot more comfortable because now we know that we are all speaking one language. Now we're all speaking from the same mouth. But prior to that, that wasn't the situation. And that is what made us honestly feel and believe that even our local authorities and our local leadership doesn't have any care for us at this point in time. We are just soldiers in this war that are being sent out to do what is necessary, and that they didn't care for us at all.
So, are you currently still in the teaching from the staff room, or have you since moved to your classroom?
I was still in the staff room up until today, and what working from the staff room for me entails, just so that people can also understand, was literally me pre-recording my lessons at home, video lessons, screen recording my worksheets and the activities. And then our school, we are one of the fortunate schools to have ICT at the school. So we have projectors and whiteboards at the school. And what I would then go and do is to project my lessons during the day, because at the end of the day, I am not there also to rob a child of education. That is not the point. I am not refusing to teach. I am not doing this as a plea to say that I don't want to work, as a lot of people would like to believe right now. It's not that I don't want to work or teach. So whilst I am in the staff room, each period that I am supposed to be in a specific class, I go and I project my lessons. I hand out worksheets. I make sure that all the learners get busy, but then I remove myself from the classroom and I then go back to the staff room. So I was still doing that up until today. And yeah, I am about 3 weeks away. Also, I must add, not even 3 full weeks, but 11 working days away from 27 weeks of pregnancy,
Okay.
and which, according to the guideline, then allows me to work from home.
Yeah.
So I will now also have to obviously see how the situation will be going forward, with me then being able to work from home, because that is what at the end of the day will be best for me, I feel, and what I said would be best. It doesn't change the situation that our children are still at school and that my fellow colleagues are still at school. So yeah,
Okay.
that's that.
All right. Now you are an ambassador of excellence in education. You are a 2019 winner of the National Teaching Awards, provincial winner, excellence in primary school teaching.
Mhm.
Talk to us about that experience.
It was, it wasn't something that I actually expected. It wasn't something that I saw myself. I can honestly say from the very beginning, since I started teaching, it wasn't something that I saw myself ever participating in or even reaching the extent that I did within the competition. What brought that about was literally the fact that a lot of my colleagues and a lot of our officials in the area felt that I should participate and take part in the National Teaching Awards. And I think what mostly motivated that and drove for that is the fact that I believe in innovation, and I always believe in putting the learners first and trying to find ways that will make this process for them so much easier, whilst at the same time remaining sensitive to their circumstances and trying to make the curriculum something that is comfortable for them.
Mm.
And it was a great experience to participate in, because at the end of the day, I think so many people have a fear of the process, but at the end of the day, all you virtually do is to tell a room full of people and a group of people, what exactly it is that you implement within your teaching and within your classroom, and not just within your classroom, but also within the schooling community at large, what you do that is different and that changes the everyday teaching for the learners. And well, I did exactly that. And yeah, I think I'm still not, it hasn't actually even sunk in yet that this was the achievement and this was what I had achieved. And it was really just a great honor and it was a great privilege. And it's something that I will forever cherish.
Yeah.
And it's part of what makes this situation that we are in now such a tricky one. Because at the same time, on the one hand, you have people feeling like, well, you are then the provincial winner for 2019 in excellence. So why is it that you are doing this now? Why is it that you don't want to teach?
Yeah.
And like I'm saying, this is not the situation at all. At the end of the day, we are all human beings. We are volatile. And situations are not comfortable situations. And though
Mm.
we need to make work of whatever situation we find ourselves in, we should always act in the best interest of ourselves and those around us. So, yeah, with the NTAs and with what I'm currently doing, I am still trying to show that regardless of the situation that we are in, excellence and teaching does not just have to take place within a school and within a classroom. It's like when people say that church is not the building, school is not the building either.
100%. Now, I've had the privilege of of being a provincial NTA adjudicator for 2 years, and I'm just seeing that Fasira Solomon is on. She was also an adjudicator in my time, and
Mhm,
so congratulations on a job well done. And I'm just picking up here in your NTA motivation, your nomination motivation.
mhm.
It was stated that you believe in creating a safe space for your learners where they will feel comfortable and where it will be conducive for quality teaching and learning to take place. Now, I also want to marry that with the WCED's vision that says
Mhm.
it envisages quality education for every child in every classroom, in every school in the province. Now, given the current COVID-19 context, in your opinion, is it possible to create these circumstances for the learners?
It's a difficult situation. When I spoke specifically about creating a safe environment, it I wasn't just referring to the fact that I want my learners to feel safe physically, but I was also referring to the fact that they should be able to come to school and socially feel comfortable and safe, and also emotionally feel comfortable and safe. This is naturally a situation where majority of us, teachers, parents, everybody, we are experiencing quite a level of anxiety at this point in time. So it's difficult to create that safe space for the learners when you, as the educator yourself, have a lot of anxiety and uncertainties going on. Um, for me, it just means that my role now has had to step up even more. um, to some extent, I feel a bit guilty because I feel to some point, am I now failing my learners? Because I am also displaying my fears at this point in time by saying that I feel unsafe and I don't even feel that this is a safe and comfortable environment. So, what is the message exactly that I'm sending my learners? But through that, I am also trying to advocate and show them that at the end of the day, we need to stand up for what we believe in, and that is part of creating a safe space for them where they are able to come and they are able to express their feelings, where they are able to express their opinions, obviously within a respectable way. So it's difficult, as I said, to create the safe environment for them. The safest that I can do for them physically is to ensure that I'm constantly reminding them of wearing their masks, constantly reminding them of maintaining their social distance, sanitizing their hands, and so on. But at the same time, as I'm saying, it's difficult to create that emotional and social safe space.
Yeah.
So many of them are people that are withdrawn naturally, and towards the end of term one, we started seeing some of them come out of their shell and now more actively engage and show more of their personality. And here comes COVID 19. And now you have to have social distance amongst yourselves. You have to cover half of your face with a mask, and conversations are not even the same anymore with a lot of people. So most of them are starting to retract back into their shell again. And I am still trying to find my way around getting them to still be themselves and still engage with each other, but just by sticking to the protocols that we have in place right now.
Yeah. Now, we all know that more grades are expected to return next week, as from the 6th of July
Hmm.
2020. So, what are the feelings around the return of the additional grades in your school at this time?
I obviously personally feel it's a gamble that's not worth taking. We are struggling at this point in time with just grade sevens at school. And I cannot begin to imagine the challenges that will unfold once we have our grade sixes, our grade ones, our grade twos and threes, and even our grade R's at the school. Um, for me personally, as I said, the struggle is real in terms of even just having our learners adhere to protocols right now. And as a staff, we have a very big school, by the way. Our grade sevens are already a group of about 230 something learners, and our grade sixes are in the same bracket, and the same counts for our grade threes, and so I can go on. So this is something that is going to be a very daunting task for us,
Mm.
and that's why I feel it's a big gamble that we are going to be taking. And I end up asking myself, even in terms of the teaching taking place, what is the effectiveness of our teaching in this situation right now, when you are constantly having to battle with just having your learners adhere to the social protocol. And you need to keep in mind the context that our learners are coming from. Our school literally services one of the poorest communities within the West Coast. And our learners come from areas where there is no way for them to social distance. There's no way for them to constantly wash and sanitize their hands. And yet then you are forced for 8 hours of the day to adhere to these rules. But as soon as you leave the school, you go back to your everyday circumstance where this is not possible. So who do we blame in this situation? Do you take your frustration out on the learner that literally comes from this difficult circumstance?
Yeah.
Or what do you now do? And especially when the younger ones come to school, that is when we are really going to see the ultimate challenge.
Yeah, sure. Now you're touching on on a very interesting issue now. As much as we within the borders of the school, we try and maintain good hygiene practices and social distancing protocols
Mhm,
within the school confines. There's the challenge of the moment the learners leave the school context, right? They get into
mhm,
that cramped little van on the way, or they walk home and they do not
mhm.
maintain, or they then forego on all of those practices.
Yes.
And it almost makes a mockery of what we try to achieve within the school context. So, I mean, you've already mentioned now that you experience a similar challenge.
Mhm.
Now, any comorbidities among the staff members, and as a result, having to be at home and excused from duty at this stage?
We at this point actually just have one educator that is over the age of 60 and with comorbidities at home.
All right.
Other than that, there are a lot of people on the staff. Actually, the whole staff have issues, but at this point in time, they are still under control and not on comorbidity or concession for comorbidity leave at this point in time. So we
Okay.
just have the one educator currently at home on a concession, and then I will obviously be the next one to go.
Yeah.
And we are actually at the moment, we are four educators that are expecting. We are making the nation strong. So
Wow.
a month after me, the next one will go on. There's actually one that just went the month before me as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see as the situation unfolds. And I think what is going to make it even more difficult is the fact that we don't get substitutes when you are on concession. Apparently, we are not to get substitutes because you have to work from home. So that still leaves the classroom unoccupied and unattended by an
Mm-mm.
educator, but work is to take place.
Mm.
So again, this puts a lot of strain on the school itself, because
Yeah.
it's up to now the school management
Yeah.
to see how exactly are you going to juggle the situation. And with the anxiety and the stress and everything already happening, it's like I said, this is such a gamble, I feel, at the end of the day, and it makes me wonder, is it really worth it in the end?
Sure. Now, not just very quickly, are there any grade 7 learners that whose parents have opted to keep them at home. Um,
Yes.
okay, and how does the school manage that situation?
We have, like I said, about 230 grade 7 learners. We have split them into about 12 classes of 20. And we have at most on a day about 10 to 13 or so in one classroom. Those were the numbers we had in the beginning. And now, towards the last 2 weeks, with the situations that we have had at the school, the numbers are declining also.
Mm,
So we now sit sometimes with only two in a classroom or four in a classroom.
yeah,
And what the school has done is to say to these parents that have communicated with us that we are willing to assist them by sending work, even if it's through the WhatsApp groups that we have, the class WhatsApp groups,
yeah,
or make the work available to
yeah.
send it to them via email, or they can
Okay.
come and collect packages at the school. So, yeah, but there are still a lot of parents that we are finding so much difficulty in contacting because the numbers are constantly changing
Yeah.
and they haven't reached out to us either. So, there's a number of them that are not at school and that we are
Yeah.
still struggling to reach.
Okay. Yeah, and that is a very real issue, being at home and not being able to access those learners. And we
Yes,
know the issue around affordability. I mean, data is an expensive
yes.
commodity. Prof. Janssen was speaking the other day about, he had a conversation with a parent, and it was heart wrenching, the conversation he had, according to me. He said the parent was literally between two options. Do I buy uh, bread to feed the
Mm-hmm,
family, or do I buy data
mm-hmm,
for the child to access
mm-hmm.
online learning? So that's a very real issue. Now, how does Eugenia, as an educator and as a leader during this time, how do you keep your wits about yourself? How do you keep motivated? What do you do? What's your approach?
The first thing that I love to do is to sleep, honestly. There's nothing that takes away the stress and strain of the day than just going to my bed and closing my eyes, even if it's for 30 minutes. And before I close my eyes for those 30 minutes, I definitely need to first calm myself and speak to the Almighty and give what is burdening me at that point in time. But I also have an amazing support structure at home. My husband is Superman, and I'm obviously a mother of two boys as well, age 3 and 9. So you can imagine that that is constant karate kicks in the house. And when I have had these days, especially that are extremely tough at school, my
Yeah,
husband is amazing in terms of having me come home and taking care of the boys while I at least get to just recuperate. Whether it's even that I just take the 10 minutes to read another chapter in a book
yeah,
or just have my quiet time with myself and the Almighty. And I try to surround myself as much as possible with positive people as well. The other thing is, my mother is an educator herself. She has been for almost 30 years now, or actually for 30 years now. And it's also wonderful for me to be able to come back and speak to her because I know that she's going to understand exactly what it is that I am experiencing. And though we are at different schools, we can relate to each other. And as I said, surround myself with positive people. I happen to work with a lot of goofballs at school as well, and we all love to laugh and make jokes. So, at the best of times, even if things are seeming so gloom and so dull at school, the staff of Masiphatisane really are a ball, and we uplift each other.
that is fantastic to hear. Sure. I mean, if you are what you surround yourself with, and I mean,
Yeah.
it's a total blessing to be amongst people who are able to motivate and push you forward, in the right direction. Now,
Hmm.
Eugenia, before COVID-19, um, there were the learners in the school that were identified as being at risk of failing
Hmm.
be- due to academic barriers, or learning barriers, and
Hmm.
so. With the added challenges of COVID-19, how, in your view, should we further cater for the needs of especially those learners?
This is something that I have been grappling with myself. Because before the whole pandemic, this has been something that has been very close to my heart because we, especially at our school, struggle with so many learners that have learning barriers. And we have a shortage, obviously, of special needs schools. We have a shortage of intervention staff at the school. We have a shortage of time to do intervention at the school. So this has already been a situation that we have been struggling with from day one. And with the added COVID-19, I honestly cannot say that I have an answer or a solution as to how we go forward from here. Because if we look at the time frame that we have and we look at the curriculum that we are already struggling to incorporate any form of intervention.
Sure.
And with intervention, I mean real intervention on the level of each of those learners. In my school, for example, you sit with a class of 50 learners, but out of the 50 learners, more than 30 of them are learners with severe learning barriers.
Mm,
So
sure.
we are at a point where we are still grappling and trying to find a way around how will we still be able to reach these learners? How will we be able to intervene with these learners? So I honestly, I honestly cannot say that I have an answer at this time. I don't know what we as a fraternity will do to ensure that we reach these learners on the level that they deserve to be reached, not
Mm,
just the level that is going to be on paper. I did ABC with Jimmy and EEF DEF with Susie, but did I honestly help Susie with her reading problem and her inability to decode when reading? And did I honestly help Jimmy with his inability to calculate or to multiply? It's something that, like I said, is something that lies very close and dear to my heart, but it's something that even at this point, I'm struggling to find a way and put structures in place that will be able to assist these learners during this specific
yeah.
time, even.
Sure. Now, do you feel that there may be a need for us as educators to reimagine the way we've taught over, for the last few years? Is there a need for us to reinvent our methodology and as a means
Hmm.
to to manage this new dispensation?
Hmm. Reinvention, I feel, for us as teachers is always necessary. Regardless of this pandemic, we always have to find ways to reinvent ourselves. And that is obviously also because of the fact that you have so many learners on so many different learning levels and coming from so many different backgrounds. So we are constantly having to find a way, and especially I'm speaking from personal experience. I'm always trying to find a way to reach my learners on a greater level and improve my techniques and my incorporate more. And I think the obvious way, as much as some of us, COVID-19 has now just pushed us into the direction of saying you cannot hide from ICT anymore. If you've been able to do it up until now, then Lord bless your soul for being able to do that. But COVID-19 has pushed us in the direction and saying to us now, you can no longer hide from ICT. And ICT is this wonderful thing that actually allows us to bring the world into the classroom. And like I said earlier, our school is lucky and blessed to be one of the schools that have been fitted with the projectors and with the whiteboards. And we are definitely at our school trying to make use of this as much as possible to reach our learners. So we are definitely in a place where we as educators have to reinvent ourselves. We have to upskill ourselves constantly. And you also need to be so aware of what is happening socially
Yes.
within the age group that you serve as well. Because you might just end up going into class and the classroom will be buzzing. And if you are not keeping your finger on the pulse,
Yeah.
you will be lost and you've lost
Absolutely.
literally 50 people. So we do definitely have to reinvent ourselves.
Yeah, he who dares to teach must never cease to learn. So yeah,
Yes.
be a lifelong learner. I just want to quickly pick up on, well, not pick up really. I just want to acknowledge some of our people that have joined us since. Liesel Harms, hi Liesel. School year was only 2.5 months before lockdown seized the year. Almere is also watching. Tembakazi says cancel the school year. Teachers are dying. Um, there's a number of people on. David Miller, my provincial chief executive officer of uh, Natosa, Western Cape. Well done on your award. Listening to you, one can hear quality.
Thank you
Um,
very much.
then Dunyiswa Lunko, well done, Eugenia. You inspire us. Crystal
That's my
Dolgy,
colleague.
is it Crystal? Crystal Dolgy, congratulations. Shia Miller, congratulations. Namasango Nama, I'm proud of you, Eugenia. I'm proud of you. Congratulations, Malifi. That's Delisha. I don't know if Delisha is also related to you and you share the same surname. Renee Langley, Yost, congratulations, Ms. Paolo, proud of you. So, I mean, people are just singing your praises here. Well done and an amazing achievement, there's many other people watching. I cannot mention everybody, but welcome all. We're concluding almost in the next while. Mag, Maggerwede. Jammer as ek dit verkeerd kry, Maggerwede. Is dat die regte woord? Ek weet nie. Meyer sê eendrag mag power in numbers majority rule. And so, yeah, there's quite a number of comments here, and so you'll probably end up watching it later. But thank you guys for your inspiring messages. I'm sure Eugenia appreciates it as we conclude. Now,
especially sorry from my colleagues that have tuned in, because 3 of them, you just read the comments from them as well. And this just speaks again, in times of need and in times of celebration, they are always the people that then rally together, and that makes, as I said earlier, it just so much easier to wake up and go and face the situations that we are in.
Yeah, absolutely. Shreya Miller says data must be. I've always wondered, is it data or data? Because Afrikaans eerste taal, so it's a very difficult one.
Ek is self Afrikaans, so vir my is dit ook data.
Okay.
En dit was nog nooit data nie.
All right, so I suppose it depends where you matriculate it. Woolworth High School.
Definitely.
All right. Shreya Miller says data must be free during this time to assist with learning. Courtney Dixon, hello Courtney, thank you for another interesting interview. Karen Matwanzani, hello Karen, wow, but Karen she's an attorney in the Durbanville area. Okay, and then there's a number of other, Denzel Smith is watching, he's the life coach we're chatting to tomorrow. He's going to talk to us about how can we as educators during this time fill our emotional and our personal tanks, so I think that is one to look out for. And Dustin Karaisen says, our leader in education. And all right, look, do you agree with me that as a teacher, you need to think on your feet?
Definitely.
All right. I'm going to give you 5, not riddles, but 5 sort of, just to, test your general, well, not general knowledge, to see how quick you can think. All right. The first one. How is an English teacher the same as a judge? I've asked this to the other, to Theola.
Oh, I heard this one before. Why can't I think now? The handout sentences.
There we go. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. All right. Next one. What is the shortest month?
February? No, I'm lying. May. Yes.
You don't have 3 letters.
Afterwards. May.
All right. Listen to this one. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? I'll repeat it again, just one more time. Okay. I'm not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?
Something I don't know.
Fire.
Oh, wow. My brain is honestly too slow to
right. Two more. Right. What runs around the whole yard without moving?
A leaf blowing?
A fence.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Last one. And I mean, that's what you must get, eh? We've been talking about it similar to... Okay. What can you catch but never throw?
A thought.
A cold. COVID. No.
Ek is altyd so doffie. I promise. Try me in the morning.
No, that's
try me in the morning.
Yeah, that is my flow jokes installment for this Tuesday evening. Now listen. As we conclude, ma'am, what is next for Eugenia? You've mentioned that you are studying. What are we studying here? Just very quickly.
I've been busy all along. I'm currently doing my honors at UWC, my honors in management, educational management. And I am also a second year part-time student. I actually stopped for this year because I decided to focus on my honors in education. But law has been a lifelong passion. So I also am a second year student in law, LLB, with UNISA, which I will, once I've completed my honors, continue. And
So hier's groot dinge aan die kom vir Eugenia. Ek bedoel you're a NTA winner 2019. You're part of the of youth development. You working very closely in Saldanha Bay municipality. You are studying. You're part-time law scholar. You're doing your honors in education. I sense I sense big things coming for you, man. Ek is nou nie 'n waarsegster of 'n waarsêder, but you just the manner in which you've conducted yourself tonight, it's with complete confidence and with conviction. And so, look, watch this space. That's all I'm saying. Now,
Thank you very much.
Eugenia, as you conclude, what message of hope and inspiration do you want to leave with us, educators, teachers, learners, parents?
I think the main thing that we should all just remember is that you are never alone in a situation. Sometimes it does feel as if you are alone and there's nobody that will understand your experience. But the moment you start opening up, and I'm not saying open up to any Tom, Dick, and Harry, because we also know in life it doesn't work like that. But find that person or that place where you can literally offload and share, because then you will begin to realize that you are not alone in the situation that you are in. And sometimes when you do share, someone can positively motivate you. So, in addition to that, I would also say never let go of your faith, never let go of your hope. Standing for what you believe in is not always going to make you the favorite. It's not always going to make you the one that people choose and to talk to, but you need to learn to be okay with that. Be okay with being on your own also sometimes if that is going to serve the purpose that you want it to serve. Believe in yourself and believe in the plan that the Almighty has for your life. At the end of the day, that is the only anchor that we all have, regardless of exactly what it is that you believe in or who you believe in. So hold on to that. And like I said earlier, surround yourself with positive people and never stop laughing. Never stop having fun. Never stop making jokes, even if it's flow jokes, laugh for your jokes. That is going to make you feel so much better.
Eugenia, I want to repeat what I said earlier. There are big things coming for you, my dear. I know you know that already. I'm just stating the obvious. And so allow me to, at this juncture, thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing yourself to come onto this program and share your heart, your convictions with
Mm-hmm.
us. It's not easy. Believe
Mm-hmm.
me, it's not easy. I've approached many people and I said, guys, would you mind coming on just to share your opinion? You're not speaking on behalf of anybody. You're
Yeah,
not speaking on behalf of an institution or an employer. You're simply just sharing your thoughts at this time. And you will not believe me. The majority of people are very reluctant to do that, and understandably so. I don't,
mm-hmm.
but you've conducted yourself fearlessly, and I mean, you were still able to maintain a professional line, and so thank you, thank you, thank you. May God bless you and may enlarge your territory as you continue to make waves in education, continue to make waves in your
Thank you
personal
very
capacity.
much.
I sense big things coming for the town of Vredenburg, for education in the country when you are in it. So um, I know you on this magical journey of where a life is growing inside of you. Enjoy
Mm-hmm.
that process. Enjoy your
Thank
family.
you very
Stay
much.
safe. Stay warm. Stay covered. And please, 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 this is my formal invitation. Please come back when you
I
are well.
definitely will.
Come back and share with us again the greatness that's within you. So, wow, I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
I also just want to say thank you very much for this opportunity. You know, people that know me will know that this is just in my personality to always talk. And when you asked me, I was thrilled at the idea because, like I said, I love talking and I love engaging and I love sharing. So this was a wonderful opportunity for me, and I honestly hope that the message that I had or sharing my experiences could have assisted someone or could have told someone tonight that you are not on your own. There are plenty of us that share the same ideologies at the end of the day. And thank you so much for all the belief that you have in me and for all the good words that you have placed upon me. I can only trust in the Almighty and I can only go according to His guidance. And in everything that I do and in everything that I achieve, I always just hope to be able to give back and work back to the community, especially this West Coast community that I come from. And with that also, moet ek so 'n klein shout out gee. Skus tog. To my colleagues listening tonight, to my husband keeping the children in the other room from making noise. I love you guys, and to my mother and everybody tuning in as well, and every other person that has just sent me a message of congratulations, to my class group at UWC, to absolutely everybody, to every parent, to every learner, and to every educator tonight. May God bless you guys. To those of you that have lost someone during this time, my sincere condolences. May the Almighty comfort you in this time. It definitely, words don't make it easier, but we think of you. And with the situation that we are in, may God bless and protect each and every one of us.
Sure. God bless you and good night, man.
Good night. Thank you very much.